see how this 3.5 V6 performs. Took a second. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a 2021 Toyota Tacoma Limited Nightshade. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this Tacoma. Check out their inventory on the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood of the Tacoma Nightshade, we have a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 278 horsepower and then 265 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Tacoma Nightshade. So first off, it's just a regular Tacoma hood here on the Limited. Coming down below, we've got the full LED lights. I love the turn signal. It's kind of like in a sequential fashion, just looks really good. But full LEDs for the light overall, and then you've got the LED fog light down below. Got the gigantic Toyota logo down the center with the camera just down below it. And then also got the air dam here at the very bottom. And then everything's been all blacked out as part of this Nightshade package. Coming around the side here, we've got two 65mm tires wrapped on 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then they did a dark metallic gray for the wheel, again, as part of the Nightshade package. I think it looks really good. And then coming here, here's a quick look at the front suspension. You do get the mud flaps as well with the Tacoma, as well as the Tacoma badge. Fender flares are all blacked out, the mirror's all blacked out, and you've got the Limited badge on the side, which is also blacked out. But here's your full side view. That's a lot of snow. Now let's pop in the bed of this Limited Nightshade. So first off, you've got the covering here in this part of the bed, and then it goes to the rest of the bed as well from the factory. Definitely nice that it's all protected. And then yes, you do get a power outlet here in the back, which is another nice little touch. Payload capacity with the truck is about 990 pounds, and then this does come with this really nice tonneau cover. It says Tacoma on it. It's just a tri-fold, so you just flip it back. And other than that, that's everything for the bed. Now going over the rest of the rear of the Tacoma, we've got the signature Tacoma lights here with the little kind of like LED in that portion, and then you've got the blacked out portion here on the side, and then you've got all of your blacked out badges and logos here on the rest of the rear. Towing capacity is right around 7,000 pounds, and other than that, that's the back of the Limited Nightshade. Here's the door panel on the rear of the Nightshade. So notice you've got all the soft touch on this portion of the door panel. And then coming to the seats themselves, you've got the leather, and then you've got kind of like this interesting kind of design here in the center portion with the seats. Definitely unique, but let's actually pop in. So stepping in, it's actually pretty easy to get in because the truck's not crazy high off the ground. Now I'm 5'11". If I sit all the way up, I've got like a little bit of headroom left, and then legroom, a little bit more on the cramped side, but it's a smaller size truck. Expect it. Got your cup holders right here, and other than that, that's the back of the Nightshade. Here's the door panel in the front. So again, you've got that same kind of like soft touch material here with all of your window controls and then your mirror adjustment. And then here are the seats at the front. Same as the rear, you've got the interesting kind of design there in the center portion. Then you got the nice bolsters here on the side. You've got your power adjustments right there. You've got the Tacoma Limited floor mats that come with this. And then there's your pedal layout down below. And then up above, we've got this for the camera system. Sorry, the camera doesn't want to focus on it for some reason. Got your stability control right there. That's for the cargo light. And then this is for the outlet there in the back. And then other than that, there's one more look before we pop in. Here's the steering wheel on the Tacoma. Notice you've got smoother leather at the top and at the bottom. Then you've got the kind of like perforated leather here on the sides, so it's a little bit grippier. And you got your controls for the center stack, your pages button, and then this is for the collision assistance. You've got your lane departure assistance. Cruise control is just kind of hiding right there in the background. And then you've got your phone controls, your voice command and volume controls as well. And then you have the little stock there for the turn signal / lights. And then you've got the stock for the windshield wipers on the other side. And that's all for the steering wheel. Now here's the gauge cluster. It's kind of a mix between analog, and then you've got a little screen there in the center portion. And as for the screen, First off, notice we actually have a full tank of gas. Like, this never happens in Ben Hardy car reviews. This is like a whole new high for the channel, but basically just shows you different bits of information on the truck, and you can see like the safety tech, all that kind of stuff. Nothing too groundbreaking. They've got this in all the other Tacomas and then newer Toyotas as well. So that's all for the center stack. Coming over to the center infotainment system, if we pop it into reverse, you've got the backup camera, and the trajectory lines do turn with the steering wheel, which is pretty nice. And then you've got that little bird's eye view as well, which is another neat little thing. And then you can just go to full backup camera if you don't want to see the bird's eye view. But you guys remember there was that camera button there on the other side. We actually press that little button, and then I'll pop up with the front camera, which is really good. And then you've got the side camera as well. For off-roading purposes, it's really good because then it gives you kind of a view at the front. And then here's the rest of the infotainment system. So response time when you press the buttons is really good. So pretty much stuff happens right off the bat. And then as for the buttons on the screen, response time's really good as well. It definitely does have kind of like that older school look to it, but it, you know, responds and everything pretty similar to like the newer touchscreens that you see on the market. Now I've got a bunch more controls here in this area. First off, we've got our heated seats, and yes, I have the heated seat on today. It's pretty chilly. And then you've got your dual zone climate controls just down below, and then we've got our drive line selects. You've got your 2-wheel drive, your 4-wheel high, and then you push in for your 4-wheel low, and then that's next to your engine stop start button, just your rear defroster. Got a little 12 volts underneath here, and then you've got this for the USB. And then yes, this is actually for the rear window, so you pull that tab right there, or push it, sorry, rather, and that opens it, and then you pull it forward, and that's what will close it. That's for your parking sensors. This is for like towing, or if you just need extra power. And then you've got your blind spot monitoring, and then you do get a wireless phone charger in that little area. But that's all for that center stack. Guys, probably already saw it. We've got a couple cup holders. Got the shifter here for the 6-speed automatic, and then it does have the manual shift function. Got your e-brake right here, and then even more cup holders because you can never have enough. And then we've got a center console and even more cup holders. And then coming over here, we've got the glove box, which storage space in here is pretty good for a small size truck. And then they did some nice leather trim just above it. And then notice you've got a bunch of circular vents all throughout the truck. And then finishing things off here at the top, notice that this does come with a sunroof. And then you've got the sunglass holder right here, normal lights, all that kind of stuff. And then it does have a traditional mirror. Now that we're done going over the interior on this Tacoma Limited Nightshade, let's quickly get into the pricing. So, in terms of pricing, this Limited Nightshade stickers for about $45,000 before any type of market adjustment. That all being said, let's take this Tacoma out and see how it drives. Let's quickly talk about visibility before we set off here in this Tacoma Nightshade. So first off, visibility over the hood is unchanged compared to any other Tacoma. It's actually better than like the Sport and the TRD Pro because they have like the little vent in the center. There's your visibility through both the mirrors, which do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's throughout the rest of the rear, which from a visibility perspective is really good. And that all being said, let's set off. We are initially setting off here in the Tacoma Limited Nightshade, and first off, let's talk about the road noise and ride quality. So first off, from a ride quality perspective, it's actually really smooth. It's got this nice kind of like smooth ride quality to it where it doesn't get too upset, but you definitely do feel bumps and all that. If you're kind of used to like the shocks on the TRD Pro, then this is gonna feel a little bit rougher to you when you go over bumps compared to that. And then in terms of the noise that comes through, it's really windy today. I don't know if you guys noticed with the walk around, probably did. The camera can only do, or the microphone can only do so much with blocking out the wind noise. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty well insulated overall. And let's see kind of how the steering is here on the Limited. Brakes are good. Definitely has good stopping power, but it is a really light truck. Yeah, turning on the truck's really nice. There is some vagueness with the steering, but I'd put it at average for the segment. Yeah, going over these little manhole covers, or I guess nowadays in today's world, we're supposed to just call them covers. But yeah, it doesn't upset the truck whatsoever, really. So yeah, definitely a nice little kind of like around the town truck so far. Well, we're gonna go over these little train tracks first. Boom. Then we're gonna get our acceleration here with the Tacoma and see how this 3.5 V6 performs. Took a second. Definitely good once you get into the power. The pedal, just basically how it's modulated is it doesn't really like to downshift unless you like really get into it. It's like I'm either gonna just very, very slightly accelerate, or I'm gonna go pedal to the metal. It seems like there's no in between. Obviously if we go into the manual mode though, then we can kind of determine what the transmission does. So like right now I can go into second gear and kind of be in that in between place where I'm not like full throttle, but I'm still getting a decent amount of acceleration, and the manual mode is pretty good on this truck. And that'll get me into summing things up with this Tacoma Limited Nightshade. So first off, from an exterior aesthetics perspective, I think it's a really good looking truck. On the outside, I love the LED headlights they do on the Tacoma. I kind of wish they did do something to the taillights to kind of update them a little bit, make them look a little bit more modern. But I think it's still, from pretty much every angle, it's a good looking truck. It just doesn't really have a bad angle. And then from an interior perspective, the seats are actually really comfortable. They're more comfortable than I kind of remembered and expected. And then I love the heated seats right now, especially with how cold it is. Let's see, it's 38 degrees outside, which isn't terrible, but I mean, it's still cold enough, especially with the wind chill today. But yeah, definitely love the heated seats with this. And then the rest of the interior, I know that it's not necessarily the most luxury, it's not necessarily the nicest. However, very easy to clean off, and a lot of people do take these Tacomas off-roading or do some, you know, dirt trails, all that kind of stuff. Nothing too crazy with it, but still, this is a lot easier to clean off than if you had like the really nice leather that some vehicles have, kind of like my truck. And then other than that though, I think it's a good looking truck. I feel like the price is really reasonable for a loaded up Tacoma. And if you're gonna get the Limited, I would go for the Nightshade if I were you, because I think that this is going to just, I don't know, I think it looks better than like a regular Limited with all the chrome. And I think that the resale value might not necessarily be higher, but I think it'll be easier to sell this than a regular Limited, because more people are kind of looking for these blacked out trucks rather than they are looking for kind of like your normal kind of like basic chrome trucks. And yeah, that's the Tacoma Limited Nightshade. Now that is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Toyota Tacoma Limited Nightshade. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this Tacoma. Check out the inventory link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.